one of your recent interviews that really moved me was the great conversation you had with now WWE Hall of Famer Lex Luger. I mean, Lex joined me as a guest here on Wrestling Life in 2024, and he's got to be one of the gentlest, humblest guys I've ever met. Like, so far removed from the total package and narcissist that we all grew up watching. That was a really special one, and so glad that you had that conversation, which I think just perfectly laid the groundwork for the Hall of Fame a few weeks later. And how
Well,
amazing was it as
DD,
well to see him stand up to get the moment with Cody. Incredible. That brought a tear to my eye.
yeah, and like long overdue. Like
Oh yeah.
Lex Luger should have been in the Hall of Fame years ago, but I knew that DDP had been doing some work with Lex. I spent some time with DDP earlier this year, and I stayed at his house, and he was telling me about some of the stuff, and he showed me a few videos about the progress that Lex had made, and he's like, next time you're out here, that's someone you should catch up with and like just talk about the work we've been doing together. And it just happened to time out that the interview came out, and then he got inducted to the Hall of Fame like right after that. But yeah, Lex just has this real passion for life. And from the second you meet him, he's just a smiling, happy, and grateful person. And it really speaks to like who you were doesn't necessarily need to define who you are now. And like Lex owns up to his mistakes. Like he famously says in our interviews, like, look, I've been in the penthouse to the outhouse to the jailhouse. And the fact that he can be that self-aware and speak openly about the mistakes that he made in his life was really great to hear. And I think there's a real lesson that we can learn from that, because we all make mistakes. Every single day we make mistakes, some bigger than others. But for us to be able to learn from those mistakes and grow from them, I think is the real lesson to be learned.
Yeah, he's part of a very special group that all I think have been in some very, very dark times and come out the other side. And but from Dallas to Lex to Mark Mero to Scotty Riggs, Buff Bagwell, Jake Roberts, obviously Scott Hall before he passed. Like that whole group had just such a great kind of brotherhood, and I think that's the thing that sometimes gets overlooked in wrestling. Actually, these deep brotherhood friendships that just go on for generations, and how they just all look after one another. And that's what I've loved as I've got to know more of the guys in the business.
Yeah, and it's so cool to see that, especially after all of these years. Like wrestling's the thing that brought them together in the first place, and wrestling's now the thing that like continues to keep them as friends. And Dallas does a really good job of checking in on people, not just fellow wrestlers, but just people that he cares about. He does a really good job of checking in on people and just, making sure you're doing okay.
Yeah, he checks in on me and makes sure I'm doing my DDP yoga. I don't always have the right answer for him, but I'm not as committed
Maybe
as
you
I
should
should be.
start doing it some more.
Yeah, I know. If only wouldn't tell me off.